Okay, this will be my voiceover commentary on my run at the inaugural Carolina Run and Gun. Kelly Anderson ran this, and this was her first run and gun, and she did a great job. So good job, Kelly. And loved the venue, loved the location, loved the stages. Didn't love the weather so much, but we'll get to that in a minute. And I'm voiceovering this one because after stage one, I think my language gets pretty bad. So let's just dive into it. So here it's starting to rain. A little thicker. Here we are coming up to stage one. That was about a mile and a half or so, I think I estimated, to get to this stage. So a pretty good run to here. And it's pretty much a regular rainstorm at this point. I wouldn't say it's super heavy, but it's definitely coming down pretty thick. Everything's soaked. Here we got an RO. Sorry, I don't remember this gentleman's name, but he's definitely suffering. Glasses don't work anymore. Just runs over and tells me to start my wait time on the other side of the obstacle. That gets me later because the assumption is that that's how the obstacles all work, and that turns out not to be true. Anyway, this I think that mud definitely got worse as the day went by, and even the Saturday when the shooters were shooting, this was a pretty nasty mud coming over to stage two where I was working on Saturday. Alright, here we're going to start stage one.
Yeah, I'm ready when you are.
Shooter gun case ready, stand by.
This goes pretty good. Pistol, I practiced this. Jam there, but it was just a failure to feed forward. Bad grip change, fixed it. And then a lousy angle with the progressive lenses. So this is really tough for guys running progressive glasses. But all over went pretty good. I keep forgetting all day to put the pistol in the drop bucket. Here we're grabbing the rifle. Now both lens covers, the front and the rear, are both on the rifle at this point. So don't have any excuses for the first couple of rounds. And as it turns out, I would, when I got home and went and tested the rifle, I would discover that it was shooting about 4 or 5 inches low and 4 or 5 inches right at 50 yards. I believe this to be a 125, 150 yard target, so well off the plate. And I think I'm just getting lucky when I'm doing top lefts on some of these, because I don't remember bracketing it to top left. And obviously I've killed the audio here because it has gotten colorful as I try to sort out what's going wrong. And somewhere in here you'll see the rate of fire, which has been excessive to this point, will slow down because I can no longer see. I have a theory that the gas exiting the gas collar gets lucky at some point and catches a raindrop between it and the scope, and basically emulsifies that and pulverizes that and sprays it all over the front end of the scope, and then you can't see anything anymore. It basically looks like you're shooting through a cotton ball. Later in the day I get that effect. On stage 2 I get that effect, and my glasses, my progressive lens, is also fogged over, so that's a double whammy. But at this point pretty much I can't see the plates. I'm looking over the glasses, looking through the scope, trying to find some way of picking out where it is and dealing with the offset, because again the rifle obviously is not shooting point of aim. And I time out here somewhere. I'm sure I'm thrilled about it and have nice things to say about my equipment.
Try peeking over the
So
top
here's
of
stage
the thing.
2, and I'm just going to run a little bit of this because it's really miserable and I thoroughly hated this stage.
Oh my
Just to
God.
point out that I was actually an RO on this stage earlier in the day, so I knew where the targets were, and I knew what size they were, and I'd been helping people hit them pretty much all morning. So it's disturbing, and again, I guess the rifle being off is probably the main problem for this, but the reality is when I got here, I couldn't see. I mean, they were orange in the morning when I left, and they were no longer orange when I got here. That coupled with vision issues and whatnot really, I guess, made this stage pretty much impossible for me. I was trying to guesstimate based on grass stalks between me and the target to kind of get an idea of where the targets were, and I couldn't have done that. I wouldn't have even bothered trying that if I hadn't already known where the targets were. So at some point I just surprised I got out of the first section and moved on, but at some point here I just gave up because I couldn't see what was going on again. In hindsight, I wish I'd have cleaned the optics, my glasses, and the front and rear objectives on the scope like I do later on this bay, because it would have paid off better if I'd have done it here rather than further on in the course where I don't know where the targets are. So that was dumb. Alright, here we're approaching stage 3. And I kind of pointed at my watch, got the attention of the RO, pointed at my watch. He shook his head and pointed at the slack line, and I said, okay, slack line. That made sense to me because, as I said, my brain had already been trained that you do the obstacle and then you shoot the course of fire. So this made sense to me. So I bolt my hat to my carabiner because I didn't want any of my equipment to fall to the ground. And then I bolt my carabiner to the slack line. A little more complicated than I expected it to be. There we go. Zippity zip line across. Hey, we may as well get a shot of this. There you go. Flip the camera around. My daughter thought that was caution tape. No, dear. Yeah, no. So I gotta admit that worked pretty good. So I wander over here to the tent, and the RO comes back and asks me if I want to do the zip line or the slack line now, and I said, I just did it. I'm pointing at the tree. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Well, yep, I think somewhere in here I kind of might lose my marbles a little bit. But hey, yeah, fine. It wasn't that hard. Let's just do it again. I did decide to get a better camera angle this time. I mean, why not, right? Yeah, let's watch Stimp do it again. I didn't drop that equipment. And anyway, I already went across once. So, I'm calling it good. Alright, so I'm not going to comment too much on stage 4. The pistol part went okay. Rifle, obviously plate rag smaller than stuff I've already shot at and at about the same distance. So we didn't hit anything here, and I eventually got, I won't say smart, but clever enough to realize throwing ammo downrange for no hits wasn't a good idea and moved on.
Okay, here's stage 4, stage briefing. On the start signal, shooter climbs onto the rooftop, loading only when in position. Shooter engages 5 targets once each, left to right. You'll have 2 over here on the left, 1 in the middle, and then 2 over here towards the right. Shoot 1 on each of them, and then come back around, shoot 1 on each of them, left to right again. Rifle. And then you'll unload your rifle before coming down the rooftop. Shooter then fully unloads rifle, proceeds down rooftop, and grounds rifle on the table. When the rifle is grounded, shooter can then load pistol and shoot 6 knockdown steel pistol targets from the shooting area. Orange box right here, 6 pistol targets right ahead of you. Shooter must reset own pistol targets after clearing firearms. You understand the course of fire?
Yeah.
Do you have any questions?
Oh.
Would you like to know the ranges?
I heard him on the radio earlier.
Ah, got it.
So I left that bit in because this guy did such a great job of giving me the briefing here, and I should probably not have said anything about knowing the ranges because he tells me to look for a torso target, and I find one and shoot at it for a while, but it's clearly not at 400 plus yards, and that's a mistake on my part. So I never did find the leftmost plate here. I don't know if it was in shadow or in a spot that I just didn't look. But I feel like that's all on me. I probably should have been able to find it. But, you know, if you can't shoot left to right, you can't finish the stage. So I didn't. And at some point here, I give up on trying to find the target over there. There I am. I'm shooting at that 280, which I think I hit a couple of times maybe. But I don't know, with the rifle like it was. At least the lenses were clean here, but it just, yeah. At some point I went, okay, this is dumb. Maybe I can hit something at a shorter stage, further on down, and gave up and moved on to pistol, which we'll zip to the pistol part right now. Now, I have no idea if that last shot was on the clock or not, but I did want to apologize to that gentleman directly because I think he caught the worst of my full 10 out of 10 rant about not liking what was going on with my performance there. Here's some stock footage. I've got 15 minutes, 20 minutes of footage that looks pretty much exactly like this from down on the bottom. Got worried about being lost down here, but I kept finding fresh footsteps from Miss Selena in front of me, and so I figured if nothing else I'd have somebody to talk to when we accidentally ran up on a county road someplace, so I kept going. Okay, so this next obstacle section had to be my favorite of this entire thing. I mean, where do you get this kind of setup? I mean, the creek at Riverbend's never been this big, and if it was, you couldn't get to half the ranges that existed. So I thought this one was just awesome. Current was more powerful than I kind of expected it to be. I was glad I decided to grab myself a rope. All right, get busy with it. Then it was a great location for it. There's a cut you'll see on the other side that you have to come out of, and the nice part there is that makes fresh dirt. Fresh dirt makes fresh mud. So even when when the match dried out, people were sloughing their own water up to keep the mud nice and fresh for the next guy who's coming along. The log's in a perfect spot to annoy everybody. And even climbing out here was kind of a pain. We'll see this spot again in just a few minutes. But if you'll excuse me for the moment, I have to go through an obstacle for the first time out of 2 yet again during this run. Oh, first I have to dump all the water out of my hemmed up BDU pants. There's one leg. There's the other. Alright, so what's up? Oh, look, there's an obstacle. Brain neutral, maybe even reverse. Time to go through the obstacle. No problem. Take the rifle off. Yep. Now, poor Christian, he doesn't even know I'm back here, so he's got no chance of helping me out and stopping me. But the reality is I'm supposed to stop at this obstacle and wait for him, because you're supposed to go through this obstacle on the shot clock. So that's fine. It just means we get to do it again. And the mud was nice and cool. There he is. Look down, Bruce. Yeah. Of course we get to do it again. I'll skip a bit here until my run starts.
Brother.
Okay, so
Good to go.
Christian
yeah.
managed to find a
Fine.
sig mag I dropped somewhere in the mud on this stage inside that obstacle. Don't know which time I dropped it. I don't see it there. But he managed to find it just by seeing what he said. I thought I saw the tip of a 9mm round, and when I pushed on it, a whole magazine was down in there. So thank you, Christian, again, for finding and bringing that mag back. Now, we're allowed to put the rifle down here, and then we're supposed to shoot left-handed at the left targets and right-handed at the right targets. And as Jill will tell you if you ask her, this is something I seem to be incapable
that. That's
of.
pretty.
So I've done it so many times that it's become a joke. So here we go, load the pistol, and just wail on the targets. Yep, and then have the RO. The RO's screaming at you. Wait, what?
Left hand only. Right
Oh,
hand
right,
only.
that thing you told me to
Shoot these
do.
lip.
If you shoot
What do you
them
want me to do now?
left-handed,
Oh,
why not?
okay, just left hand. Okay, sure, fantastic. I'll leave that audio up, hopefully. But I'm going to kill it when we get over here to the rock pile because
Can I get
things
used to that
rapidly
bucket shit?
deteriorate
No,
because
I'm
I'm
upset.
using this darn thing again. And
Not
you can't see the targets down here, so I think I'll leave up the audio long enough for you to hear me say I'm shooting at what? And then I'll probably kill it. So these targets are like round plates, and I didn't even know it because I couldn't see them, but the center plates are
Where am I
triangles.
shooting at?
So this was wing and a prayer stuff for me. I finished this stage with, I think, exactly 0.23 left on the clock. Or no, sorry, 0.23 seconds left on the clock, something like that. All right, here we are done. Just getting a shot of the mud and whatnot. And here I make a big mistake because I try to get past Christian getting off the rock pile. And I step in this mud and whoop, straight down. So that's tomato steak the barrel. Plus, honestly, it really hurt. Anyway, plugged the barrel at this point. So the RO gives me a lecture about that, which I understand but don't need. And we head down to the river, which we'll head back to that spot we were at just a second ago. Alright, so here we are going back down to the river. Creek. River. It's a creek. And we're going to try to get the rifle into a condition that won't explode. Yeah, that's right. Clean your hands off. Never going to get dirty again. No. Rifle. There it is. I like this. This is just, sure. Let's just put it in the creek. This is the 5 seconds, 10 seconds of hope. Maybe it's not as bad as, yeah, it's as bad as you think it is. Because that water's coming off the outside of the barrel and not out of the muzzle. All right, put the rifle down. Let's select a branch. Hey, I've got a Leatherman. Which I, interestingly enough, just broke tonight, the can opener section. Trying to get the gas nut loose on this exact foul to put the new handguards on. Anyway, this goes smashingly, really. I mean, look at that branch. I mean, first try. That is a quality branch to use as a barrel cleaning tool. Yeah, put that away. You're going to drop it in the river. The river's about 5 feet deep. 1.5 feet from shore. Right. Yeah, adjust the camera. By all means, make sure you're getting this in the frame. Hey, look at that! Okay. This might work. Jimmy, feel free to make any jokes you want in this section. There's, I won't doubt you. Alright, doesn't fit through the chamber, so we had to hack off a little bit of it. Pull it through. Get it back in. Hey, look at that! Water's coming into the breach. That's a good sign, right? We're here. Perfect stick. May as well do it again. Yep, that's why it took me 2 days to clean that thing. Alright. Very satisfied. Let's get out of here. Alright, so on this stage, pistol shooting goes okay, not too good, but listen to the gritty kitty charging of the magazines into the SIG and of the slide, because this thing was just a train wreck when I got it home. Not good.
Come on. Over the top. Huh?
Thanks,
Get
Tag.
over the top. Good.
Yeah, see, we had a failure to lock open.
New.
Listen to this mag. Oh, yeah. Felt like sandpaper. You don't have to... whatever. Yeah.
The only question I have to ask you is, are you shooting right to left or left to right?
Well, does it matter?
No?
Oh, you need to know because you're watching.
Yes.
I will
Two
go
targets on this side or directly in front of you.
I will go right to left.
Okay, right to left.
Now here's where I actually figure out where the rifle's shooting, because I have a bad pull here. And I'm like, he said hit? And I'm like, wait, what?
Hit!
Okay.
Hit!
Oh, I get it. So lots of moving. Where's the other? Oh. Oh.
Oh, sneaky.
And here I forget what I just learned. And then I try to say something to remind myself.
I can't tell where you're going.
There's the hit. Gotta aim way high.
Wow.
Yeah,
Where's the other one at?
all the way to the left.
Alright.
Got it.
And we just ran out of time. I didn't shoot stage 7, so there won't be any video of it. And that's pretty much it. I think that's the end of my day, except for some pathetic running and trying to clean all my stuff off. Anyway, thanks, Kelly. It was an awesome time. Had a great time. Can't wait to come back and look for some vindication. Me and my born again.
Hit. Time.